scissors to sharpen. So I got a bunch of scissors in from a local drapery manufacturer. And so we're going to sharpen 5 of them this morning. I've already sharpened a few of them. I've sharpened 5 already. Tried to do it on another live stream and I was having issues with connection. So I'm back to the telephone and we're going to use the old twice as sharp with a 240 diamond wheel from Continental Diamond Tools. I love the wheel that's on this one. It produces really good sewing scissors. So guys, I appreciate y'all watching. Let's see if we get the microphone hooked up and all that good stuff. Nobody watching as of yet, but maybe somebody will come back and watch it after the fact. And if you do watch this after the fact, make sure you tell me in the comments that you missed the live stream, but you caught the replay on my YouTube channel. It is greatly appreciated. All right, guys, so here we go. These are Kai 7250s. These are really good scissors. They really are. So I test on different types of material. This is kind of heavy duty like a drape would be. And you can see it doesn't cut through the tip. So let's try some regular lightweight stuff. And it'll cut this. It catches the regular fabric that you would use on a shirt or something like that. So we're going to sharpen them. Hope you guys can see this. So these have been sharpened before. And I can tell right now why it's not cutting. So the angle is okay all the way down here. And then there's a secondary bevel that's going along. And then there's a secondary bevel that's going that way on the shear. And so that's why it's not cutting at the tip. I don't know who sharpened these or what they used. So this one's got a different bevel here. One going that way, one going this way, and then it kicks back off. I guarantee you somebody used a belt sander to sharpen these. So this is the first time I've sharpened for this lady. She called me. Literally, it's like this shop is less than 2 miles from the house, and I didn't even know it existed. And I may need to tighten these up a little bit. I may do that before we give them back to her. So since it's got multiple angles, I'm going to have to find something that's kind of in the middle to get that bevel correct and all the way along the blade. I think that's going to be it right there. See that? And see there's different bevels on this shear, on the scissor. So we're going to try to straighten it out. Let me move that out of the way. Appreciate y'all watching. Like I said, if you're watching after the fact and not doing the live stream, let me know in the comments. And if you're watching the live stream, hit that thumbs up and also tell me that you're watching and where you're watching from. So I still got a different angle right there at the tip. And I'm watching that line on the inside, and I can tell when I've got it. And I don't have it yet. There's still some flat top material on there. I've got a nice edge there, then there's a flat spot, then there's a nice edge all the way down. I'm just barely touching the wheel. And now I've got a nice edge all the way down the blade. Let's see if I got a nice even burr, and I do. So now we can go to the buffing wheel. So I did 5 earlier. I tried on I was trying to do the live stream on the webcam. But for whatever reason, that cheap computer will not connect really well. And then somebody showed up to drop off some stuff, and I got to talking to them. 19 people watching. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, help the algorithm out. And if you're so inclined, subscribe to my channel. I'm Mike White, Sharpen Right Services, located in League City, Texas. We sharpen salon, barber, and pet grooming shears, sewing and industrial scissors, flipper blades, and just about any kind of knife. We're doing some sewing scissors for a local drapery shop. And I don't know why I never thought about reaching out to the drapery shops. I guess because we don't have draperies in our house, I don't think about draperies. I need to do a little prospecting then, because this lady brought me 11 or 10 pairs of shears. That's a nice little amount of money for a Sunday morning. Oh man, look how loose these things are. Y'all see that? The nut came off of it. All right, let me look at that edge. Still see part of that angle right there. Like I said, somebody sharpened these with a belt sander, I can tell. I got a very thin burr. I want a little bit better burr than that. I can also see that inside line. Now I got a burr. The honing wheel next. How's the sound? Tell me if the sound sounds good. I'm sitting there talking the whole time. Nobody's saying they couldn't hear. I think the sound is working now. Tell me if it is. Nope, sound's not working, is it? All right, guys. How about now? Can y'all hear me now? I don't know why the microphone's not connecting. That sucks. Jamar, can you hear me? I guess the sound's not working. I'm having nothing but technical difficulties today. This one term, did this one go blank or the previous one? I was having issues. If you were looking at the one before, I was using the webcam and man, I don't know what was going on with that. Oh yeah, look at that. So it wasn't cutting through the. Well, I'll tell you what, if somebody's calling in and I didn't see if anybody was calling, if somebody calls in and leaves a voicemail message, it goes blank. So there we go. There's that one done. Well, I'm just using the iPhone now. I was on a little while ago and I was having some issues with it with my webcam. I'll be right back. I'm going to clean these tips up with some Goo Gone. Y'all hang tight. I was having technical difficulties. Those aren't cutting bad. See a little bit at the tip there. And these have been sharpened before too. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's an angle going this way, then there's an angle going this way. That one's got three angles, one there, and one there. So I'm sharpening for, if you didn't hear me earlier, I don't think y'all are picking the first part of the audio up. My microphone, I had the external microphone and it wasn't working. It's just one of those days, man. Uh, so a lady from an upholstery shop contacted me while I was in Las Vegas this week. I texted her back. I said, I'll be back in town on Friday. I will do your scissors for you. And so Friday morning, I texted her and she said, I'm not sure I'm going to make it today. We're trying to get some stuff done. I said, I'll come get them. How about that? So I drove over there to get them from her. And tomorrow, when I bring them back, I'm going to bring my good video camera and I'm going to videotape the inside of her shop. I asked her if I could. I was pretty impressed with her setup. And like I said, I never even considered prospecting drapery shops. I don't know why I just didn't think of. I prospect the upholstery shops, but draperies never crossed my mind. And man, I've missed out on some business then because I'm sure all of them need their scissors sharpened from time to time. All right, I got them both blades sharp, and now I want to push that burr back up with my little pink stone. And I can feel and see the burr pop forward, pop that way on that blade. And on sewing scissors, I like to use a little piece of wood. Just a piece of pine is all it is, to try to remove that burr. Then spread them apart and open. Open. All right, we're going to clean them up a little bit with a little alcohol and Scotch Brite. I've got several butcher shops that I do business for. The problem with most of the butcher shops, they either do their own blades. Most of the guys that work there like to do their own knives. Or I know I've got one that's got multiple locations and they do Cosini Brothers, because Cosini Brothers will do them for like $2 a knife, and I'm not going to sharpen a knife for $2. I mean, we have a lot of meat markets around us, and I only have one that gives me steady business. The other ones are cheap. They don't like to spend the money. Look at that. That's wonderful. Well, it's still not cutting real good at the tip. Well, I guess it is. You know what? I'm going to do it again. I don't think I got that tip straightened out. I think I left a secondary bevel on it. So I'm just going to go back and cut it again. I got a restaurant right now that owes me $100, that is ghosting me, which pisses me off. Well, somebody cut it. There was three angles on this blade.
So I definitely want them to cut razor sharp all the way through the tip. So basically, what I'm doing is fixing somebody else's issues. I'm fixing the last sharpener's issues. And she didn't mention anything to me about any issues, and there's no reason for her to. If she was happy with the last sharpener, she would have called the last sharpener. She wouldn't have been calling me. 52 people watching. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button and also tell me where you're watching from. Happy Mother's Day to all of your mothers out there. Get that ink off of there. And I'll clean them up one more time with alcohol before I give them back to her. Make sure there's no ink on the blades. All right, we had to resharpen them. Let's try them again. The tip, it wasn't cutting at the tip. Now it is. See that? Watch that. See that? Now it's good. So I got it all the way through the tip. Those are wonderful. Make sure they're cutting all the way towards the back. This is pretty heavy material. This is upholstery material or drapery material. So I try to use the material that they're using. There we go. All right, so let's do another pair. These have never been sharpened before, but they're just worn. I can tell. So that's they're cut. Well, see right there. See how they're pushing? They're really rough on that heavy material. And so, there we go. So that would be frustrating to the ladies cutting that fabric. And when I go tomorrow, I'm going to ask them for some fabric, some scraps, and so forth. Well, I appreciate you guys joining me. My kids took my wife to a baseball game for Mother's Day. So it's just me and the dogs here at the house. They went to some minor league baseball game out in Sugarland, Texas, or I don't know what the name of the team is. I didn't even know they had a baseball team in Sugarland, Texas. The Houston Astros are on the road, so they wanted to go to an Astros game, but there wasn't one on last year there was one on Mother's Day and they went to it. Weekends are busy for me sharpening, so I don't normally go to anything on Saturdays and Sundays. I took off last Sunday and went to Las Vegas. Hey, thanks for watching from Maryland. You are still have some cool weather on the East Coast. It's 87 degrees and 60% humidity in my shop. Yesterday it was 95 at the farmer's market here in Southeast Texas. It was brutal. Now I like to do 3 light passes. You could probably get away with 1 pass on these shears. But that's just my OCD kicking in to do 3 passes. Man, I think that's pretty close. I'm gonna do a pass and see what that looks like. That looks really close. I got a burr. And I'm cooking for my wife today. We're gonna do some Italian beef sandwiches. So I've got all the meat in the crock pot cooking slow. I think the game is not until 2 o'clock Central, so they won't be back till way late this afternoon because Sugarland's a pretty good drive, even on a Sunday. I still got a burr on there. I can still see that burr. Let's try a wine cork. Now I've never used the Duo Sharp. I've seen it, and I think you can do scissors with them. Well, you got that right, man. See, it's clouding up today. I think we're supposed to get some heavy rain this evening, and we could actually use the rain, so I'm not going to complain about it. But the Duo Sharp, I've never used one of them, but my understanding is you can do scissors with those. Man, that's cutting great now. Look, watch this. Remember how it was pushing at the tip? Look how clean that is. That is just guillotine clean. All right, we got 3 more pair to do. I hope y'all stick around. Yeah, I think a big front went all the way across the country, didn't it? We got some rain this week. Well, I don't like that. What the heck? So what about this? Let me go back to the heavy stuff. So it cuts the heavy stuff well, and that's all that counts because I'm sure that's what they're using these for. All right, so those are done. All right, let's try these. And these have been sharpened before too. There's 3 angles here. There's a flat spot and over there's 3 angles at the tip. And see, they won't cut through the tip either. Now see that? Look how that's ground up right there. This is going to be fun to get this one to cut clean all the way through the blade. See that twist? Look at it. It hits there and doesn't hit there. I think that's where we're going to want to be right there. But I'm going to resurface. I want to resurface my wheel real quick. That'll work. All right, so let's do a little pass and see what it feels like. I can feel and hear if it's going where it needs to go. And it feels pretty good. And it sounds pretty good. Light touch. All right, I got a burr. A light burr across the blade, and that's what I want. Well, if you're watching out there, hit that thumbs up button. And if you're so inclined, subscribe to my channel. It does help our little business out. We are monetized through YouTube and we get about $100 a month so far. I'd like to grow that number, obviously. We use that $100 buys abrasives. I'm going to go through these scissors. All of them are loose, and I'm going to go through them and tighten them up a little bit. I'm going to adjust them off before I bring them back to her. All right, I think that's going to be the best. I found a nice middle ground on it. Like I said, this is the blade that there's 3 angles on it. All right, I got a nice bevel, burr across the whole blade. Let's see if we got it sharpened. Push that burr up. Yeah, see how loose these are? So, and this has got a double nut system. So I got to loosen that first one and close the second one and then tighten that one up. Find a happy medium on the tension of them. Like any scissor, if it doesn't have enough tension, it's not going to cut properly. And these are ladies, and so you don't want them too tight either. She had like 5 women working in this shop, sewing and cutting fabric, and I was pretty impressed with it. Like I said, y'all check out the I'll do a full length video from what I get tomorrow when I bring my camera there. I'll do a little advertisement for her on my YouTube channel. Doesn't cut this thin stuff real well. I don't think it's designed to. I think these are, look at that. Oh, that's just, I mean, it's like butter. Make sure it cuts at the tip, and it does. So there we go. There's one another pair done. Let's do 2 more. Let's test them out. Will not cut through that fabric. These have been sharpened before too. There's an angle this way, then there kicks up another angle all the way to about right there. And there it's just worn. Well, come on. Kieran, thanks for watching, wherever you're watching from. So this is another issue where I'm going to have to split that angle. And that's going to look about as best we're going to get that. And we'll put a nice even bevel on it. I don't see any refraction of light. So it looks good. I'm waiting on somebody to come pick up their knives. So if he pulls up, I'll leave the camera running, I guess. We only have 1 more pair after this. So we hit the first angle. I don't go door to door. I mean, I just use social media to find customers. I work my Facebook, Instagram, TikTok pages. I post in local food groups and that sort of thing. If a new client comes to me, I always ask, if somebody I've never sharpened before, I don't know who they are, call or text me. I always ask them, "Hey, how did you find me?" And I would say over 90% of the people find me with a Google search. And if somebody does business with me twice, I will save their telephone number and name and any pertinent information I can on in my iPhone contacts. So the next time somebody calls me, like the guy that's come pick up the knives is Jason. I've sharpened for him several times over the years. So when he texts me, "Hey, can you sharpen some knives?" I respond back, "Hey, Jason, good to hear from you." And I make notes in the contacts. When was the last time they had their knives sharpened or scissors or whatever it is sharpened? And I say, "Yeah, it's been a while since I saw you. I saw you January of 2025." So just a little personal service. I mean, it's a good idea. Go door to door and, especially in your neighborhood, if your neighbors know you. How's that? Look at that. So those are good. All right, we got one more pair to do. You see the rust in there? I'm gonna go clean that out with my Dremel tool. I'll be right back. So that cleaned it up a little bit. And before I give them back to her, I'm going to clean all these up with alcohol again. And I'll oil I'm going to adjust all the pivot areas. This one doesn't need it, but several of the 10, they need the pivot adjusted a little bit. And I'll adjust the pivot and I'll also oil it with Wolf Industries scissor oil, which is a dry waxed base scissor oil. So it won't get on the fabric. You don't want to use mineral oil or anything like that on sewing scissors because that will transfer to some of this fabric, and you don't want that. All right, we're close. Now this pair doesn't look like it's ever been sharpened. This looks like the factory edge on that. I didn't see multiple bevels. We should have I didn't test them, did I? Look good. Got a burr. Well, I appreciate the few of y'all watching. It is greatly appreciated. It does help our little business out. I think the YouTube channel strengthens the search engine optimization because people are finding me all over the country. Hey Jim, my web camera was giving me fits, so I had to switch to the back to the cell phone. Did you get your lawnmower blades done? If you're in the Midwest, near the Chicago area, check out Home Spark Knife Sharpening right there. He's in Aurora, Illinois. Check out his YouTube channel and check out his Facebook page and so forth. And you need something sharpened in the Midwest, contact Jim. All right, it feels pretty good. Get all the schmutz off of it. So I'm going to adjust and oil all of them before I give them back to her. Oh yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Scared me there for a second. If you go fast, do I have a burr there? Where's my wine cork? I think that wine cork works a little bit better on these type of scissors. I think it gets the micro burr off of it. I'm gonna have to drink more wine. Oh, look at that. Isn't that nice? All right, guys. That was the last one. Y'all hang on. This dog got. Hey, get in here. Come on. Get this out. She's real aggressive with hands. So I gotta watch a couple guys get freaked out by it. You know, bring out Russ. How's your baby? It's all good. Thanks for taking care of me. Oh, no problem. Mom, I'll leave this with me and you know, next weekend. No, let's do it right now. That's one of my everyday carry knives. I've had that for probably 10 years. Never been sharpened? Never have. Let's go get it. No reason to come back. Well, won't take a minute. I always got other stuff to bring you, so. Now, weren't you doing the boat stuff? Yeah, you were doing the boat detailing and stuff in like Alabama, Mississippi. Okay, yes, sir. I ended up having to sell the business. Did you really? Yeah, the guy that was working for me, he was a turd. Then he was just an addict, alcohol and cocaine. And you know, it's gave him so many chances to try to improve, and then he wouldn't. And so I tried to find another worker, and I couldn't find a good worker. Nobody that would be consistent, nobody that would, you know, wanted to work at all. And so it's really disappointing, but I ended up having to sell it. And you know, somebody else took it over and has some other people to work for him now, but it's all good. So I opened up a different LLC this year, and I'm a doctor, just finishing up my training, and so now I'm leveraging that. But I'm glad it's working out for you. Maybe one day when I'm a little older and I get back home to Mississippi, I'll get some young kids and teach them the trade and
put a little money in their pocket. It's not really for me. I want to teach kids the value of hard work and good, pay them well and teach them to be young entrepreneurs.
There you go, man. That way you don't have to come back.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you for taking care of me. Oh, that's beautiful. Now, don't give it to me for free. Let me